statistically protected by the Jewish Defense League, the same people that had hits on all of your favorite celebrities. They the same ones that it hasn't changed in 500 years of their oppression. The only thing, they just keep tricking you as to what the real dirty hands look like. And Noble Drew Ali showed them to you. And we still don't believe it. We the many, they the few. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was only a third of the angels that fell. That means that it was 2/3 still on the ground. Mm-hmm. So it's 2/3 against 1/3. They not smarter than us individually or collectively, but they had an upper hand because they was concealed amongst us. Mm-hmm. So that gave them a chance to get a head start in the fight. They got a head start. They almost got to the finish line, but they were so busy doing their dirt, they have to call the same people that the righteous got to call to finish the game because they don't know what to do next. Mm. So now we all get together and we say, okay, everybody take a piece of this puzzle and somebody gonna put it all together. So we we go back, we read the Nation of Islam, Dr. Elijah Muhammad tell you what he tell you. Clarence 13 next tell you what he tell you. Yahweh ben Yahweh tell you what he tell you. Noble Drew Ali tell you what he tell you. They go all the way back. Marcus Garvey tell you what he tell you. Frederick Douglass tell you what he tell you. And you got in order to win a protracted struggle, we don't study protracted struggle. It's only a couple kids from the Panthers, a couple Vice Lord kids from back in the day that have been studying military strategy. It's a couple of them up that they've called 5%ers in New York that study this protracted struggle enough to know where they dog at in the fight. Mm-hmm. Most of us don't know where our dog at in the fight. So we think we kicking somebody else's dog, we kicking our own dog, and now we made our own dogs turn against us. Mm. Right? Dr. Clark told you, just because a statement is not true, don't mean it's not used to carry a piece of the truth in it. Mm. Mm. Right? And this is a hard thing for us to understand because it's code talk. Right? Gil Scott says the ghetto code, to the deep dash. Right? Sound like Bugs Bunny or Woody Woodpecker. It's all in there. They telling us the code, how to read it. But we so busy trying to go along to get along that we just angry sheep. I call them angry sheep. Because they'll F you up about their master, but they're not going to do nothing for liberation. Just to keep the system and the status quo intact, your closest road dog going to cross you out because he getting a little bit of a bag. But he don't know they coming for his ass if he get too much of a bag. You got a limit before they come for you. If you go back to the Fab Five Freddy Tupac interview, you see over the 5 years, the next 5 years, y'all gonna see the evolution in y'all face. Through all my struggles, this before the rape case, this is Brenda Got a Baby first album talk. He just now come out for the first time with telling you about Thug Life. He got a Thug Life hat on, and he got on some overalls that say Thug Life. And he's explaining Thug Life to Fab Five Freddy. And he told him over the next 5 years, y'all gonna see my misery, my pain, my prophecy, the realization of my prophecy. It's all gonna be there. And then they cut half of the video out now. When you go to try to look it up, a sizable portion of it been clipped. But get Fab Five Freddy on here and ask him about that interview. Everything Tupac said was done with a meticulous purpose from a military strategic mind. He just used entertainment to do it, right? Because it's just like E40. The OG's been telling me for years, man, E40 connecting the Chiefs behind the scene, that music just to cover. Coming to find out, he been doing it the whole time. Now he done got his status up so much that the people that's behind the scenes scared to do anything to him because they don't know if it'll be the spark that ignite the mass tribal rebellion of all of the tribes. Right? So they try to catch you before your people know who you are. This is why they got to get Nipsey Hussle out when he start getting big. This is why they got to get rid of Pop Smoke early as possible. And they not going to send no foreigners. They not going to send nobody that don't look like you. They going to send somebody that looks just like you. They going to send somebody look just like you. Might even be from your same set, but he don't know he doing their work. He think he doing the work for his set.
Why would they want Pop Smoke out of here? Pop Smoke was like, that's like drill rap. So why would they want him out of here?
Drill rap is a war call. We can say what we want about drill rap. Drill rap is the battle call for the youth to stand up and get ready to fight. They hate drill rap more than we do. We don't, as our elders, we forget that when we was in our piss and vinegar stage, we was ready for that war. We was about that drama. Only problem was we didn't know who the enemy was. We didn't know they looked like us. They walk like us. They stand next to us. The only difference is instead of talking about how to solve the problem, they pour gasoline on the fire. Right? When we supposed to run that fade, we can't take the L with this dude standing next to us because now he gonna make sure he feed that fire until it become murderous vengeance.
Right.
When you run the fade, okay, you lost, go in the gym, get your training game up, get your skills a little sharper, and go back and try to run the fade again, but nobody died in it. This is the same thing, talking about Shaka. Remember when Shaka first came and they was having what they call simulated combat, and he told his soldiers to handle them because the enemy that's coming don't play by our rules. We have to learn their rules, and their rules keep changing because they like to try to cheat the game. Right? So a lot of the elders got bad at Shaka, but the youth understood it. This is why it's critical and pivotal to get rid of the ones that speak like Malcolm spoke before the youth internalize that fire that he got.
Yeah.
Right? I made my business once I started becoming conscious to listen to Malcolm X as often as possible. Listen to Elijah Muhammad, listen to even Farrakhan. We don't even know how cold the strategic mind of Farrakhan is, but we about to find out. They so sleep on Farrakhan that they don't know what they done tried to kill him multiple times. It ain't like they ain't been trying to kill him. They didn't poison him. They didn't send snipers that the FOI done got him out of there before the sniper can get him. They didn't send everything at Farrakhan. But his strategic acumen, they did not expect that from a holy man, from a high priest, because his position on the land is high priest. They never expected him to have military insight, and he's commanding the FOI. If you look up the most trained security forces in the world, it's going to literally tell you Secret Service, FOI, KGB in that order.
FOI.
That means his security force is so well trained that they rival the greatest security forces of the Russians, the Israelis, the English, the Pope himself. Security, he had to put him in the Pope mobile. Let that sink in. He's supposed to be the closest living man to God. And the dude walked up and plugged his ass. You're not finna get to Farrakhan like that. The only way you're gonna get him is an inside man. And as long as Mustafa's standing there, he gonna cower. They not gonna stand up to Mustafa while he's standing there observing over the security because they can't look into that type of fire and not flinch. Right? It's the same as a gunfighter. He sleep, he wake up looking down the barrel of a double barrel. He can't stay straight face. He gonna flinch. He wasn't expecting to wake up and see that double barrel shotgun. But we don't know none of this because we going about trying to just make a good life for our families as fathers, as mothers, right? And we allowing the system to run psychological ops on our children because we don't believe they doing it is the only reason it's working. The only reason they got this far is because they got in good enough with us for us to believe that we patriots. I'm not a patriot, I'm a matriot. I'm not for the patriarchy, I'm for the matriarchy. But soon as we remember the tribal traditions and the tribal matriarchal order, and the men start being something different in the presence of the women that stand in that matriarchal motherly energy. We're not gonna let you disrespect it. You've been walking down the street in New York and seeing guys pull up on a dude aggressing one of the old ladies. Hey man, you better leave her alone. That's Auntie so-and-so. She live up there. She been over here for 55 years. You're not finna come giving her a hard time. Right? And they don't even really know her like that. That energy of that matriarch make them stand up even if they didn't want to. Because you hear them a lot of time walk, man, I don't know why I got in them folks' business. I ain't had nothing to do with that. Yes, you did. You seen the big mama getting disrespected and you checked the one disrespecting her. That's the nature of the masculine when he's being himself. This is why they don't want us to be ourselves. And that's one of the main messages Elijah Muhammad said, accept your own and be yourself. The rest will take care of itself.
Right. You know what's fucked up though, Rod? I'm gonna tell you, just to bring in a real life scenario, and I know that all of this sounds great, and the women love it. The women love this type of talk, and the brothers feel like men when you talk like this. But the reality of this is, just this particular situation that we're talking about. I was watching we talking about the Nation of Islam. I was watching an interview with the brother Nuri Muhammad, and Nuri Muhammad, he's a short brother. He's probably about 5'4", 5'5", something like that. And he said he tried to break up a fight one day between a brother who was, manhandling his woman, and he almost lost his life behind it. So it sounds good when we be like, you got to be a man and you got to protect the black woman. But the reality is, you got a family to go home to. You ain't trying to lose your motherfucking life protecting somebody you don't know, and most likely they're gonna get back together. So I believe, hold on, Rod, I believe in this situation, when we talk about this, context is king. We have to take into accountability the context behind every situation, because you can't go out there being Captain Save-A-Hole and thinking I'm protecting the matriarch like that. That shit don't. The brother Nuri Muhammad almost lost his life. He's a leader. He's got a family. So
this
that
is
shit.
so you gotta understand what you're talking about. I have seen the dude abusing a woman, and the guy stop him from abusing her, and she turn around, and both of them beat the dude up for breaking it up. But that's not the same thing as what I'm talking about. That's what you call an imitation of life. It's a false facade. First of all, the big mama energy when she walk in. All you got to do is watch the babies. Watch the baby. They gonna run to her like they've been knowing her their whole life. And she gonna be so happy to see him. That's the big mama energy, not the energy of the one the baby's looking at her like, ooh, she stank. Right? The baby's gonna tell you before the grown folks, because we've been desensitized. We've been Pavlovian programmed to only respond to certain situations. That's why it's so hard for men and women to be in a relationship right now, because they both trying to play each other's role. The man trying to be the dominant woman, and the woman trying to show him how to be a masculine man, and it ain't gonna never work. They gonna never work. And a lot of what you're talking about, I've seen, but it got to be a point of reckoning in this collective society when it comes to the male-female dynamic. And, it's like people tell you race matter. The only reason race matter is because they need the race card to keep us divided. And that's the number one reason why it matters. But everybody that's powerful deal with people from other races without conflict. At least without open conflict. Most of their conflict be posturing and gestures. They don't fight. You're not finna see Well, you might see Ibrahim Traore punch one of them in the mouth, but it ain't too many of those world leaders gonna do something. But my boy might get down with one of them if he feeling that way, because he tired. He the same kind of tired I am, right? I slap all of them, but the whole problem being is when you get to a certain level, whether it's the economic level, the social influence level, what they call political influence, is really social influence. Politicians is just them decoy ducks. As long as you see politicians, you won't see the real power. You got to get rid of the politicians to see the power players got to step out front when you get rid of the politicians. Long as you got politicians, the real power players are shielded. They in office buildings and lodges in DC, in New Jersey, and in New York. Now they got a couple more lodges. They got one in LA, and they got one in New Orleans. Then that one could be, the people down there so hard on them, they can't even operate the same way as the ones in DC, Philly, New York, and New Jersey. The ones coming out of them lodges is the ones telling your politicians what to do. The ones coming out that lodge in California, that's who telling your handlers of celebrities, telling to shut up. Right? Them the ones that put the hit on Michael Jackson. Them the ones that put the hit on Tupac Shakur. Them ones in that lodge out there. Right? If I was to go to one of them and show you where the lodge at, it'd cause so many problems. And for me personally, I could just sit here and tell you where to look for them instead of going out there where they had boots on the ground, creating the problem, because they gonna laugh when they hear me telling y'all. It's funny to them that I'm telling y'all where they lodge is at. The original Dirty Players Fez's is in the George Washington Masonic Memorial. So if you want to know who the original Dirty Moors was, they Fez is right there with their names on it. Right? They laugh because they say them people ain't gonna believe what he's talking about. Some of them gonna look, and then they gonna find receipts to the receipts to get more fine-tuned, because the more eyes you got on the problem, the more potential you have to solve it.
Right. I want to talk to you about, you done mentioned several times, you referenced boots on the ground. And for those who don't know, it's a new dance movement that's going, I don't know if I'm describing it the right way. You know, we had like the electric slide. There's a song, Boots on the Ground, and they be like, where them fans at? It's like a cowboy, like a black cowboy song, right, Rod?
Yeah.
And it's real fly. And people on
Mississippian culture.
Yeah, and people on social media, Rod, they put up a post and they're like, while the world is falling apart, and they show all these images of the world falling apart, they're like, this is what black people doing. And they're like boots on the ground, and they got the fans, and they're having a good time. And Rod, I've talked to several people, including Sharif Bey, and we talked about how song and dance is our one of our highest technologies that we have. But at the same time, they say black people are into party and bullshit too much, which is, I guess, the negative polarity of song and dance. So talk to me about, if we're talking about entering an altered state, what is it about black people? And I heard Bobby Hemmett say this. Shout out to Kenyatta. He works with Dame. He used to work with Dame Dash. He posted a video clip of Bobby with Bobby saying how dance used to heal us, and there was a conspiracy to eliminate dance within music because dance was used to killing us, bro.
Under the black codes, this is what gave rise to what we call the hole in the wall in the juke joint. We wasn't allowed to have places where we congregated and danced. That was against the law.
Damn.
It was literally illegal under this system, this emerging system of Americanism, for us to sing and dance. Our singing and our dancing, when we see certain people come, our singing and dancing increase because they know victory is close. But when other people come, are singing and dancing, like for instance, remember I was telling you about the Crip Walk for a long time, then you seen the effect of it. The energy shift from Cali now, that's called, it's like playing tennis. They returning to serve. The line dancers, the Midwest going into the South, right? And then they mingling it with the Southern New Orleans cultural movement to come up with this boots on the ground movement. This is us showing our solidarity and our love for one another in the face of the enemy in a manner that he know we showing it, and now he can't do nothing about it. Right now, we don't need crooked man walking on the land. We don't need the lightning bolt. We don't need, because they ready. Now we need to see, is the love gonna come? Are we gonna really make it happen? Is the boots on the ground? Are we gonna really kick the shit into the fan? It's coming. It's coming. Because you got to remember, all of this music in America come from Mississippian culture. It all traced back to what we call the Delta Blues, to the Mississippi Delta. And it was the love songs of the man that was learning his woman, and he was identifying his mistakes, and he was telling you how to correct them. But then they stopped us from listening to the music. They villainized the ragtime because they was trying to force, right, I don't know what it is, but after about a couple weeks, it's going to click to it and it's going to be over with. That's to keep us away from it, especially the ones that they call church mothers. The ones that's the church mother, the most powerful sisters in the community. And we thinking that because they in the church, that they from the Jesus story. They ain't from the Jesus story. They from the tribes of the land, and they still carrying out the same function they did in the long house, in the big house, and in the short house. They still doing tribal mother stuff. They just doing it under the color of Christianity now. But you thinking it's Christianity because they doing it, but they ain't doing it where the church came from. The church mothers don't run nothing in Europe. They halfway don't want a woman sitting on the podium in Europe. Male chauvinistic pedophile priest cult. Did I leave out homosexual? That's what they is. They don't like women. That's why they keep marrying drag queens. Like Barbara Bush named Big Buddy. Big linebacker.
Let me I'm gonna get to about 2 questions from the family before we get out of here, because I can't be on here too long tonight. Somebody asked, somebody sent the super chat. They asked, oh, by the way, because I see somebody posted your Cash App. Let me throw rods, because I don't want y'all to follow anybody else's Cash App and it be the wrong one. All right, I just put, be careful donating to other Cash Apps, family. You know, I don't want y'all to donate to the wrong one. But Rod Hayes Cash App, we got 3,200 people in the digital building, so make sure you support this brother for the information that he gave us tonight. His Cash App is $SikApe. That's capital SIK, capital APE. Once again, make sure the spelling is right, family. We don't want this going to the wrong Cash App. Somebody said, what is your Cash App, Rich? I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. It's the same name as the channel. $Black Magic 363. Same name as the channel. Same thing. Make sure you support Rod Hayes. Very, very important that when we have individuals like this, that we show the individuals love. And like I said, I just don't want to go into the wrong person. So yeah, we don't want that. But listen, let me get a couple of questions from the family. Somebody with the super chat said, were Moors later called Indians?
In the war, the MUUR Moors is the tribal Moors. The MOOR are European Moors. But the catch term MOOR included both of them when it became the Conjure War.
The Conjure War was the death of Crispus Attucks in the Civil War. First blood in the war is one of the chiefs, because you had to establish clear boundaries as who's the attacker and who's the defender. And Crispus Attucks' blood was used to write the corporate constitution, what we call the secondary constitution, that moved the capital from Philadelphia to DC under the corporate jurisdiction in a litigation that one of them European nations said we crashed into their ship. So that kept us in litigation, but the litigation was being fought as a war because they was trying to impose they admiralty jurisdiction on the land, and eventually was successful because it wasn't enough of us that was willing to educate ourselves. We was content being befuddling idiots.
Okay. Let's get to another.
Oh, one more part to that. So if you're talking to Moors and you want them to talk about the tribes, they call it the righteous Moors. The invaders is called dirty Moors.
Right.
And this is why I say when Angel Bay got locked up, I knew that the dirty Moors was behind it, because he's the law and he's the main one that they want to keep in prison and under the war protocol, because he can call the tribes to war with his oratory. So they want to silence him as much as possible. Right. Larry Hoover, even though he was Main 21 ambassador to Stone, became a folk king with King David. And they was also discussing why he didn't want to be tied in with the Peace Stones, who were Moors, but they was righteous Moors, because the symbols, all of their stone symbolism and they stone codes tell me they tribe. That's a tribe. That's the same red tribe out of the Midwest, old Mississippian. Then when you do the history on Jeff, you find out that he came from Mississippi, just like Larry Hoover, just like King David. And I'm a Mississippian too. My parents has come from directly from Mississippi, and my mama birthed me on the west side of Chicago. They knew I was coming, so they left me messages in hieroglyphics, what we call it graffiti today. But the graffiti, when I walk down the streets of Chicago and read the graffiti, I'm getting messages from Latin kings, Latin counts, Satin disciples, gangster disciples, black gangster disciples, black gangsters, peace stones, Titanic stones, cobra stones, vice lords, four corner hustlers, insane, unknowns, travelers. They all telling me the same story. They infiltrating us. They pretending to be us, acting like somebody else the problem, and they making us fight each other. It's in the codes, in the hieroglyphics, or in the graffiti. It's on the walls, on the garages, on the bricks in the tunnels, on the side of the trains. In New York, it's the same message. It's the same message in the hieroglyphics. They don't know they doing it because it's in the blood. It ain't in the mind. It's a natural expression of the self. All you got to do is be authentic, and it's going to come out, and you're going to tell me where to look, and I'm going to know where to look.
Shit, y'all. Wow. This dude got the Holy Ghost in him tonight, y'all. This dude got the Holy Ghost. Somebody shout out to another super chat. Somebody said, where is the missing Indian gold under the Twin Towers?
The Bushes had took that and disseminated across Europe. The gold is all being returned, but they're not taking it to Fort Knox right now. They're taking it to an underground base in Colorado.
Why there?
Because it's secure enough, and also the continuity government is in a Raven Rock, Colorado, that's watching all of this play out so that they can make sure we get everything back. When you read the continuity of government FEMA document, it tell you right on the cover that its tribal government is involved. The 9 treaty tribes. We don't got treaties with these people. We not the ones signed treaties with them. The ones that signed treaty got a paper trail to get their stuff back. But we was erased in a paper genocide by burning up our birth records, by burning up our family books, because we had family books that had everybody's name in it. And our big mama used to keep them in her house, and she called it the Book of Life. So that's why they say everybody whose name is written in the Book of Life. But there's a master book written in the ethers. You can't take that book away, but you can burn the physical representation.
Right.
It's just the book, but you can't take it out the ethers. And the ethers is where you get the genetic code for the chiefs to come in and answer for their parishioners, they braves calling for them. They call for us. I need your help, brother. Come help me. They conjure my ass up, Rich. I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm the chief of last resort. They don't supposed to call me until can't nobody figure it out. I see a whole bunch of people that had it almost figured out until they got murdered.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to let's get to let me see. Hold up now, Rob.
While you doing that, this is for the crowd. If y'all watching, anybody know how to get in touch with legendary Top Cats, tell them to holler at the chief. I need to holler at him. I'm trying to get him to do some record keeping for us.
Indeed.
Or read some records for us.
Indeed. Yeah. I'll add Top Cats. I'm trying to get in touch with the brother as well. Definitely holler at the brother. Somebody says Shinnecock is mixed with Africans. What's your thoughts on that statement?
They probably is now, because a lot of Africans in the last couple hundred years then moved to New York. They got to marry somebody.
But not from that time, not hundreds of years ago, you saying?
No, the Shinnecock is an ancient tribe. It's always been there. The New York area was always been their stronghold, their territory.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They wasn't always called Shinnecock, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody said Top Cats mentioned you last night. Okay, yeah. Holla at the brother. And shout out to King Simon in the building as well. Shout out to King Simon.